Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are live. Unfortunately, I only have one monitor, so it will be a little bit tricky here to get this live stream done. But yeah, we are live, and I hope you guys can hear me. We are going to listen in to the community update today, and I'm straight out here from vacation, so in the last minute I came home to listen to this. So let's see if we can tune in here in a second. I hope you guys are doing fine, doing well. Let's actually see here. Let's go on the full cam for a second. There you go. So yeah, let's see. JML86 is here already. Very nice. Let me actually see if I can manage to add here only a window in, yeah, maybe I can just add a window here to the stream. Let's try that out. Okay, so I hope this works for you guys. Let me see browser source. Let me see if I can put that Twitter source in here. Actually, yeah, okay, that's Veve Digital Collectibles, but that source does not have. Hey, what's going on? From Stockholm, Rickard Brommer. Yeah, actually, that browser source didn't work. But yeah, let's try until. If not, I'll just share my screen and you see the Streamlabs interface, which is also not too bad. By the way, guys, smash the like button and also let me know if there are any sound issues whatsoever. And also let me know if this starts. I don't know, but sometimes we don't see it. So when the community update starts, I have the reminder set, so it should start right in a second. And while that is, I try to fill in that browser source. Let me see. Twitter. Am I still bullish on Omi? That depends on today's. I don't know why this is always happening here when I try this. So yeah, let's get rid of Twitter here and join right on the screen probably. Yeah, we'll see when it starts. I will just go back on stream. 16 people already here. Smash up the like button. I hope that this update starts, and I hope that it starts without any intro music, because if that is the case, the stream might get demonetized, which is actually bad. Yeah. So once again, yeah, guys, are you bullish on Ecomi? That's the big question. Are you bullish? What do you expect from today's community update? Because I expect that I came back from the beautiful beach and having a drink for this update. It better be good, right? So yeah, I hope it's going to be good. I hope that actually in the focus there will be some news about Omi to NFT, what that blockchain team is doing. That would be great. Yeah, other than that, let me see if I can add. I can only add. I want to add only one browser source, but add is not possible, unfortunately. I'm bullish in the long run. Not sure. Not short or midterm, to be honest. Yeah, long run. I'm pretty bullish if they get something done with this blockchain team, right? So actually, it says here that there's already a microphone symbol on Vivi, but I cannot join yet. So yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can get. I'll try that once more. The browser source. No, I don't know why it doesn't update here. Actually, guys, let me know if you have any updates here on the Twitter feed. So let me get this out. Yeah. So PSG, I'm catching you back to back. That must mean some good luck for me. Yeah, 100%. It is. Let's go just on the screen for a second here and see if we get anything. Oh, I think it started. So start listening.
Let's just jump right in.
There we
a few
go.
things, obviously, coming off San Diego Comic-Con. We had a really great time. Getting to know a lot of
Let me know if you can
some
hear
new
everything.
fans and some of our existing fans who came all the way down to San Diego, not only to attend Comic-Con but also to join us at our after party, which is a really good time. Anytime we can hang with fam, and also we had a great little moment there in which we paid tribute to Silicon. But let's just kind of dive into what was going on at the booth. We had, as you may have heard or know by now, obviously we had some we'll call them exclusive drops for people who were new to the platform and were there at the Marvel booth to hear our presentation, which was a really cool moment, I think, for us, in that we were really having a captive audience of people who were new to digital collecting or new to Veve. And Ray Lowe was the host there with the Marvel booth, did a really great job of kind of ushering us through a quick tutorial and some visuals about what we see as the vision and the future of digital collecting. So shout out to Dan, who was there with me at the booth and on stage, kind of going through that presentation. We did a couple of live drops in the old school style, just to make sure that everybody there had a countdown to experience together, and it was a lot of fun. And we did 2 comic runs, both 1,000 edition single cover comics, and then we also had some promo codes for new people who had installed the app in front of us, which was really great, because if anything that I think was the takeaway this year over last year, and feel free to chime in on this, Dan, was the people a little more open to the idea of what a digital asset is, and really what AR brings to the experience. I think you really saw it click for a lot of people once you show them that collectible or that comic flipping pages in AR.
Yeah, I think, now that it's been a few years that NFTs and digital collectibles have been around, I from my side, and it sounds like from your side, Alex, I definitely felt that the overall sentiment and understanding and awareness of what they are was much higher this year. And obviously the development team has been working hard, making sure we were able to push KYC requirements much further down the app, so the app user flow. So the great thing about that is that we can actually sign people up on the spot, give them the promo codes, run them through the platform. But yeah, this time round it was really good. Just lots of very positive engagement from the thousands of Marvel fans that were there.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely some good learning experience as well, in terms of like what we can do at future events, and just in terms of how we want to really bring people in and show them like even quicker like what the value proposition is for something like this. Because not only is it your favorite characters and some of the biggest comic books in the history of Marvel, but it's so much more than that. And I think we'll dovetail into our next agenda item by one of the things that we showed at the booth, which was the Marvel showroom in the MetaQuest headsets. This was a really good experience, not only for people who really that saw the AR, but they wanted to know more about what digital collecting was and what it could do. But it was also, for us, generally the Veve fans who came and really saw it, was another light switch moment, in that you could see and move through an environment where these collectibles were set up in a very nice and curated gallery kind of type setting of all of the Marvel Mighties. And it was just a kind of a snapshot, or a taste, a teaser, if you will, of what you can expect to see from the Veveverse moving forward. But that said, we are now moving into a first phase of closed private beta. So, Dan, do you want to talk to us a little bit about the comms that went out this couple days ago, and what can we expect from this closed private beta?
Yeah, so very excited to finally reach this point. The Veveverse has been quite an undertaking for the majority of the team here. Typically around, specifically around a lot of the asset review. We realized that we have done thousands of collectibles and comics since the launch of Veve. So obviously we need to be making sure that when these items appear in the Veveverse, they look the way that they have been signed off and approved by all of our IP and licensors. And that's required just a little bit longer effort than we anticipated, because the Veveverse environment is much more realistic compared to what we've got in the app at the moment. So happy to say that has been moved along quite well. Still got a few assets to review. And it's for that reason that we've told this initial beta group that we can't yet share anything in terms of screenshots, but they will be able to talk about their experience, etc. So the initial beta is just a small group of people. We have selected users who have been very active in showrooms.
Yeah, that's good.
And if you haven't been
good.
selected just yet, I'm sorry, you'll more than likely be in one of the upcoming rounds. But it was important for me just to make sure that we do keep this initial group quite small, quite concise, because I'm going to be dealing with a lot of them directly, jumping on some calls, running them through the platform, getting their feedback. But yeah, from my perspective, what I'm most excited about with the Veveverse is obviously you can do everything you can do in the showroom, in our existing showrooms. But the two main features that I'm really bullish on is, number one, obviously all of the social side of it. There's voice chat, there's video chat, there's text chat, a whole bunch of different communication tools. And the other layer, which, to be honest, makes me just spend hours in the Veveverse, is all of the content creator tools. Up till now, with our virtual showrooms, we've only been able to bring in the collectibles that are sold on Veve. And, some of our fans have been very creative in how to use those collectibles to, say, make their own shelves or, custom components within their own showroom. But now there are a whole lot of creator tools where you can bring in, cubes or spheres or pyramids, but all these kind of different simple shapes to really build up your own world. And we'll be continuing to add to that sort of library that you have. And that library is going to expand over the next few weeks to include a whole range of kind of like default 3D content, whether it's trees or walls or urban props, anything like that. So very, very excited to get to this point, and looking forward to diving in with the beta testers over the next couple of weeks to see what they have to say.
Great, right on. That sounds awesome. I think just to reiterate the point of keeping this initial closed private beta very tight and very small is really, as you mentioned, people who have been the most active in the showrooms. I've seen a few tweets of people claiming they got their invite, but I can assure you, if it's somebody who you probably don't think has got an invite, they probably didn't. So don't be taken by charlatans on Twitter. But we're really looking forward to getting some of the most active people in, so we can really kind of grow from there and figure out what kind of tweaks we need to make and what the next phase of beta will look like. But from your end, Dan, what do you consider a success metric in this first beta phase, and then what is the continued rollout look like? Not from a timeline perspective, but just from a functionality
so far
perspective.
Yeah, so the main thing from my side is really just making sure that all of the features and functionality work as intended. Obviously, we've been working on the platform for quite a long time now, so we are very confident in the performance of the features. There are other areas like, specific roles and policies that need to be reviewed. So, for example, if you import or you load an IP asset from your Veve library, you're not able to change any of the materials. And what I mean by that is any of the colors on these IP assets. However, if they are a non-IP asset, like you bring in a cube because you want to create, 4 walls and a roof, you are able to update, all of the materials on that, change the colors, add lighting, etc. So, number one is just around the features. Number two is really just asking the beta testers to help us kind of crowd review the assets that are in the system one last time to make sure they are in line with what is currently in the Veve app, or they look the same as what's in the Veve app. And from there, assuming that all goes well, I mean, obviously, I anticipate there is going to be a few little things that we will need to perhaps fix up or make clearer to the users. Once that takes place, we can then really just start bringing in users in small batches, very similar to the same way that we whitelist our features now, like Payout, for example, which is still going through beta. So we'll be rolling it out in a very similar way. Also, things like making sure that our service is scalable enough, all the infrastructure that we've set up is not having any sort of pipeline issues. Most of the sort of what I would call the less exciting stuff in the background.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so you mentioned the beta rollout process for a lot of our functionalities. So at this point, let's maybe transition to some product updates. Mitch, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Doing well.
How's everybody?
Doing well. Good morning. Thank you for joining us early.
Good morning. No issues.
Let's cover a few recent updates. As we know, and people who have been following along, obviously, with our comms on Twitter and Discord, etc., and the blog, I've seen kind of a regular clip of updates going through as pertaining to different functionality across the platform as a whole. But can you speak to some of the more recent updates like localization, et cetera, and where we are with continuing to build stuff like that out?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, we're always consistently trying to produce updates for the community and right across, even for ourselves internally, right? So our cadence has been set right from the beginning. We always release in 2-week cycles, and people can expect both large and small releases coming through on that regular cadence. For us, releasing is very, very important, and it's almost like a discipline internally. If things internally don't happen as well for one of the various teams, the release actually doesn't stop. The teams have to peel out components that don't work, and they then plan it for the further release in the next 2 weeks. But our releases, we want to make sure that they're consistently coming out so that we can always make minute and iterative improvements to the application overall.
Got it. And when you mentioned teams, and I think we've kind of touched on this in a chat in the past, but at this point, the way your team is structured is that there are specific teams working on specific areas of the app, be it web, be it mobile, be it engagement, etc. Is that now how are we fully staffed in that regard? And I know we talked about briefly in a previous update about a new blockchain team coming on. Can you give us a little bit of an update on where the team is as a whole?
Yeah, in terms of scaling, teams, we've kind of hit that capacity, right? We don't think we need to kind of add infinite amount of headcount to the teams anymore. We've hit a pretty good point, and now it's really about optimization. So we've got various teams kind of working on various components of Veve itself, and they are pretty much fully staffed right now. So onboarding is still happening for the newer kind of entrants into the teams, but now it's really about sitting down and understanding what kind of roles we can add that will add exponential value to the teams, both from a organizational point of view but also a capability point of view. So I think we're sitting at a pretty comfortable state right now. The teams are coming a little bit more on board, as in maturity-wise, learning about Veve. A lot of them have not come from the digital collectible space or from the crypto space at all. So their learning curve is going to be higher. But, we think we've got the right people in place to be able to kind of keep inching and kind of leaping us forward in our development right across from everything from, just normal functionality on Veve all the way through to, digital asset functionality.
Excellent. Okay. And then in terms of, we talked about briefly language
snorting.
localization. Obviously, we've rolled out crafting, and we're continuing to improve on that. Are there any other further updates on those two items at this point?
Yeah, from a language point of view, we've got Japanese, French, and Spanish, and I speak none of them. So it was a very interesting experience to try and get that through. But I think, from a language point of view, localization is going to be very, very important, right? We want the app to be absolutely accessible to the various people that are available for us to kind of onboard right across the world. So, we can expect more languages to be onboarded in the coming days, weeks, months, years, as we look to kind of make the app a lot more accessible.
Let's see if they talk about Omi for Randy here.
We have one of the teams kind of working on building out the full crafting-based functionality. What we've seen so far is really just the surface of crafting, and our plans for the ability for people to turn, many NFTs into one, or many collectibles into one, and turn one collectibles into many. So there is a team there kind of working on building out and maturing that capability from where we are today into quite an exciting kind of future base for crafting in itself.
Excellent. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. And then Dan, maybe do you want to speak to, in regards to localization? Obviously, it's very important that we make the app as accessible to as many people in the world as possible. But can you speak to briefly? I know we've mentioned in the past, and David has mentioned as much about localization being necessary to onboard, specific IP or licensors to the platform. I assume Astro Boy was one of the first fruits of that labor in debuting Japanese, etc.
Yeah, I mean, David and I have been very open about the fact we are both, very big fans of Japanese IP, and there's even a lot of Chinese IP out there as well. And really to tap into these markets, we obviously do need to be localized. There are a lot of English speakers out there. But even from a licensor level, it is important for these IP owners that the items that we sell are accessible and available, to their local audiences, and that is a big part of the reason for localization. And the cool thing about Veve is that it truly is a global app, and so we want to be making sure that we have the opportunity to sell a whole lot of different IP from different regions, and really it's a part of our growth strategy to bring on users from more of these countries.
Excellent. Okay, great. All right. Speaking of things in the works, can you give us the latest on our Payout Beta?
Payout,
with
most
a
important.
tweet was that we had
see.
onboarded a small amount of people to do some private beta testing, and those seem to be successful from those people who did get access. But what's the plan for further rollout and then opening that wide to our international user base?
Yeah, so Payouts is small. It's sitting at around 15,000 people that have access to the Payout Beta at the moment, and we're kind of holding it there for now as we've picked up some kind of operational components that we need to kind of address. So once we get past those pieces, and that they're not really large pieces at all, we just need time to kind of resolve them with our new partner, we'll start to open that up to everybody else. So the whole point about the beta is for us to discover some of these issues that cannot really be discovered if there isn't scale being applied to the systems. And we found some. And what we're doing now is we're kind of going back to address those pieces. And once we're done with that, we'll probably open it up to everybody.
Okay, great.
It seems to be very
another
difficult
point on the payout. I've mentioned in previous AMAs, whenever it comes to anything financial or anything where money can be pulled out of the system, we do like to be extremely risk averse. So while it may seem slow, our rollout process, we are just being very diligent to making sure that there are no security gaps or security holes in the platform. It's obviously something that might seem quite simple on the surface, but there's a lot going on in the background, right across support teams, risk analysis teams, etc. So we do appreciate your patience with it. We can assure you 100% Payout is fully built and implemented and rolled out, and we do look forward to getting that out to the wider community as soon as we can.
Okay, excellent. All positive updates there. Well, let's maybe dive into some things that have been maybe not as positive as of late, and that has to do with some of the issues we've been seeing with waitlist drops as of late. Mitch, I know obviously this is a new functionality for us. Can you just break it down to me just go through how ideally waitlist should work and what the known issues are and what we're doing to address those issues in order to move forward with other items on our plate?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's no secret that we've been facing some challenges with the waitlist itself, and I think Nesta tweeted about it 7 hours ago, something like that. The reality is that it is a new system. We did test it quite robustly, and we've picked up some issues as we've progressed, right? So the waitlist actually has two phases. The first phase is the waitlist itself, where there is a kind of closed time so that people can join the waitlist, and then subsequently there will be a time where the waitlist closes and allocation happens, and then there will be a time where people are allowed to purchase, and then from there it moves on to rebound. So the two phases are the waitlist, the subsequent allocation, and then the rebound, right? We're facing problems right now or challenges with the rebound itself. So that is the area that we're focusing on in an attempt to kind of stabilize overall waitlist functionality. We think we've kind of got where we needed to go with that piece right now, and we'll be looking to kind of deploy that over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about quickly, though. I think there, maybe just for definition's sake, what the core waitlist is for the countdown, to drop time, right? And then there's what I think we've just, out of habit, have been calling the rebound, right? Which is the experience that if a drop hasn't sold out, how they return to the store. Obviously, that's kind of where I think a good bulk of the issues or complaints, at least that we've been seeing on Twitter and in support tickets, have been coming from.
That's great.
Can you tell us what is the issue, I guess specifically there, and how you envision that being cleaned up for the future?
Yeah, we actually looked at several different ways to do this. During the waitlist phase, we wanted to make sure that there was a degree of priority that was being provided to KYC-based users, right? As we've kind of talked about for quite a while, and that is the case right now. So during the waitlist period, where the waitlist is open, you can join in the subsequent allocation and purchase phase. Those allocations will be kind of prioritized towards KYC users first. Now, if there are any allocations or additions that are unsold post the waitlist phase, they go into what we call a free-for-all phase, where because we've prioritized KYC users, non-KYC users don't really have an opportunity or have a much reduced opportunity to join the waitlist or to be successful in the allocation during the waitlist phase. So that open phase post the waitlist is meant to kind of level out the playing field for non-KYC accounts so that they can have access to collectibles and comics that are unsold at any point in time. During the unsold phase or post allocation phase, there are two types of instances where additions will be allocated back into the rebound, so-called rebound. One is if a person has been successfully allocated during the waitlist but has not completed the payment phase in the first 15 minutes. And then secondly, if there are less people that have joined the waitlist and there are editions available, there will be editions made that will be unsold. So that was the intent. During that rebound phase, it was meant to be an open phase, but what we've seen so far is that, you know, we needed to fix and bring in some degree of reservations to allow any users to actually some time to purchase before, you know, things go back into a revolving loop of being available and not being available. And right now, everything is just available, and at any one point in time, it can just become unavailable if someone else has purchased an available edition quickly.
Got it.
Yeah, and okay. Alex, I think I just thought I'd like to say, you know, with the waitlist, it is a new piece of technology. You know, I'm sure for all the OGs in the
piece of technology
space here, they remember when you know, back in 2021 when with the buy now, we were having quite a few let's just say exciting times with those drops. But obviously, as that buy now system improved and got more robust over time, it became very, very solid, you know, by the end. And it's just the nature of development. A lot of the times, you know, we do a lot of testing in our staging environments with the team and a whole bunch of testers. And really, we're just going through this same sort of phase now with the waitlist. So obviously, we are 100% committed to making it, you know, a really fun and enjoyable experience. And, you know, for those of you who have been, you know, poorly affected, again, we always apologize. It's never, you know, a scenario or a situation that we want. But, yeah, please just be rest assured that we are working on it, you know, all the time. And it is just going to get better and better.
Yeah, I think Dan touched on it really well, right? Like, you know, our processes are iterative. We discover things that need to be improved and we improve it. Even if we don't discover things that improve, we'll try to improve things. So this is a journey for us. And we'll always kind of be looking at making things better, making things quicker, making things a lot more fun.
Okay, excellent. Now, obviously, getting some of those issues ironed out with the waitlist is integral to moving on and releasing some form of what else people have been really looking forward to, which is MCP, right? And so we've successfully rolled out MCP showing up in your profile with your points calculations. Obviously, there's still some minor issues with some folks about the actual calculations, but can you just give us a general status update of how waitlist relates to MCP and where MCP is in the pipeline in terms of being able to get correct totals on points calculations, being able to spend points, etc.?
Yeah. For us, MCP is continuous. Work on MCP is continuous. You know, points are something we want to get accurate, but we're quite, and we're working quite diligently and with a bit degree of focus on trying to get everything as accurate as we can. The reality, however, is that it's going to be an ongoing progression. So, you know, we're targeting a success rate of around 98% in terms of accuracy. That's what we're going for right now. But the remaining 2% will always be something that we can.
The screen turned white.
I suspect will never end. There will always be, you know, enhancements to the point system. There will always be changes to the point system as we progress through to get points up to where people expect them to be. And there will be minor cases where we may have to look into it individually, or if we notice a pattern that is happening inside of the MCP point calculation system, we'll kind of address that with a release in the background, right? So these things are continuous for us. If you have issues with your points, some of you have already put in a request or a form for it to be reviewed. Please continue to use the form because we are watching these and we are picking up on things that are, you know, not going according to what we expect them to be, and we are kind of addressing them almost on a case-by-case basis as well.
Great. And so just so we can be clear for anybody who does believe they are having a points calculation issue, when they do file that support ticket, what are we looking for in terms of information so that we can best hone in and dial in to understand what the calculation should be, or versus what looks off?
Yeah, we're trying to really understand where you think your points need to be in the first instance versus where it is currently. We're trying to get a decent comparison between the expectation versus the reality. And this is because, as we progress the MCP service, we're constantly kind of making changes to it and making tweaks to it that sometimes, we want to make sure that there is a strong base for us to be able to say, yes, this is a legitimate case of the system not doing what it needs to be, and then we'll make a tweak to it to ensure that these adjustments are fair and equitable for the people that are affected.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And in terms of, actual, not timeline-wise, but at least in terms of order of priority, enrolling future features of the MCP out so people can feel like they are able to use their points in some way, or have some other type of utility within the app as part of the program. Where are we at with, not only MCP, but the loyalty program, which we've talked about in the past as it relates to OUP, et cetera? Are there any, is there a priority list of how we anticipate rolling these things out post stabilization of the waitlist?
Yeah, so the waitlist and then the MCP piece, as well as MCP utility, are intrinsically tied together.
I think I
was
can't.
telling Dan not too long ago that we're finally getting to all the really, really fun things that can deliver a lot of value back to our communities and back to our back to the user base. And then we kind of, ran into a bit of a challenge with the waitlist overall. So a lot of the resourcing right now that we have working on the waitlist and on MCP utility have been directed to kind of address some of these challenges that we have with the waitlist. That does not mean, however, that we've stopped work and progress on MCP utility. It is very high on our priority list, and as I said last time, it is part of our, it was part of our Q2 objectives that kind of slipped into Q3 right now. Our focus is really still genuinely on delivering this utility for all the collectors that we have out there right now. And we know that there are many collectors with millions and millions of MCP points, and they really want to use them. So we've kind of gone through a phase of ideation, gone through a phase of thinking about, what and how can we add value using MCP points as utility. And we think we've got some really, really good things coming in the pipeline, but we are still right now kind of prefacing that against a stable waitlist, because the waitlist does preface the access to MCP utility. A lot of MCP utility will be based on the allocation system itself. So for us, getting the allocation system right is paramount so that we can confidently continue to build that utility into the system itself.
Great. And just to expand on that, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I was just saying, obviously we have, we've rolled out the first iteration of the waitlist. We've rolled out the first phase of MCP. Whether it's obvious or not, but we know obviously we're not going to stop there. We're continuing to work in the background like MCP to deliver,
work in the background
and onwards. So, I think one thing to say about MCP is that, we are dealing of years and years of data with millions and millions of transactions, millions of daily, possibly tens of millions of daily points in terms of the data set. So it is a complex system, and that's why we are seeing some discrepancies for some users. But once again, just please be rest assured that all of this work is continuing to happen in the background.
Got it. And I just wanted to expand quickly on the notion of allocation, so that people are clear what that means. When we talk about allocation within the waitlist, we're talking about allocating those who have opted into the waitlist versus other factors like, are you KYC'd? Have you put in extra or MCP points, et cetera, down the line, so that we need to get that infrastructure down pat so that when we do release the functionality for MCP, that it's a little easier of a lift on the systems. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that's correct. So the allocation system is going to be one of the main staples of how we progress functionality in the future, and getting that right is extremely important, right? If I'm not wrong, and I have been kind of just monitoring the stuff that's been happening across the various community channels, people are saying, are these allocations truly random, et cetera, et cetera. They are absolutely random at this stage, and part of the improvements on the allocation systems that we're looking at as well is to say, well, how do we ensure fairness in randomization? And these are the pieces that we're kind of working on and really focused on, because we want to make sure that these delivery mechanisms and the allocation systems that we're creating are robust, so that we can continue to build on them.
Okay. So definitely a randomized selection system. So, a special shout out to people I've seen say, I have not been able to hit a wait list to save my life. It's nothing personal. Please don't take it personally. We love that you keep trying. Just stick with it, and you'll get one. Obviously, eventually, just by nature of statistics. But it's helpful to hear that there are no other at this point. Without MCP, et cetera. It's all based on allocation and prioritization for KYC.
And Alex, I think there is, something else that I don't believe we've announced it, but I think it's fine that we can announce it here. Just some of the other upgrades we are making around the waitlist system.
Great.
I mentioned earlier that Veve really is truly a global app. We see that absolutely, especially with the implementation of phase 1 of the waitlist. The spread or the delivery of the collectibles is much more global, which is a really good thing to see. One of the challenges we have always faced with the drops is the actual drop time itself. Obviously, we do want to be global. We do want to be making sure that it is fair for everyone, and we've picked the time zone 8 a.m. Pacific time for the majority of the drops, because it has the closest sort of crossover for most of our audiences around the world. But one of the exciting updates that we do have coming out for the waitlist is you will be able to join the waitlist within I believe it's a 24-hour period. And then if you do have gems in your wallet, and you are successfully selected in the waitlist, you will.
That's good.
It would automatically make the purchase for you and deliver it to your collection. So when you wake up, you've got a brand new collectible.
That's pretty good.
That's just one of
Australia.
That's pretty approaches or methods we are using to just make it easier. I mean,
that's the best so far.
I've got to get up at 4 a.m. and to be honest,
I was going to say most of the shout outs were like, come on, you're a New Zealand company. Why aren't you helping us out here? Like especially, and then Australia is even a couple hours before that. So exactly. That's helpful to hear, and I know that had been working on. I'm glad you were able to announce that that's coming here today. But that's, just to reiterate, that basically means that, you don't have to wake up. Once that waitlist window opens, you can basically set it, forget it, right? If you have the gems to cover the drop, you opt in, go back to sleep, and you wake up and you either have the collectible or you don't. You can get it in the secondary market. But that's very helpful, I think, for people, not only in other parts of the world, but people who have work, here on the east or west coast of the United States, have a meeting at that time, or forget about it. But you have a much larger window in which to participate in these drops, and I think that's great.
So just one more thing on this one. It's important to note that most things or everything on Veve is never mandatory. Everything is a choice for collectors, and we want to continue to keep that, right, as a choice for collectors themselves. So, if you choose to not want to auto pay or auto complete a purchase, you can. If you choose to want to continue to wake up at 3 a.m. to make the payment on your own, you can choose to do that. Everything is about convenience, and everything is about choice. And we want to put that choice in the hands of the collectors and allow the collectors to do what best fits their lifestyles.
Great. Yeah, good and very important to note. Thank you very much for that, Mitch. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it on MCP Flash loyalty. Anything else you guys want to add on that front in terms of, I don't know, roadmap, prioritization, or anything else that you'd like to announce today in terms of other functionality coming to the app?
No, just to kind of close off and ensure kind of a degree of transparency, right? We've got various teams working on various different things. So Waitlist and MCP utility are one of those things that are being worked on by a team. We've got teams working on our kind of Omi utility program as well, and we expect that we'll be able to kind of talk a little bit more about what we've been doing with the Omi utility piece a little bit later, as we kind of firm up communications and firm up the details on that functionality coming through. So rest assured, as Dan said before, that as much as we may not be talking about things, or it might not be as tangible or visible, there's a lot of stuff happening in the background, and it touches quite a few different teams that we have running right now, and they're happening simultaneously. Just because we're quiet doesn't mean we're not working on stuff. In fact, actually, it's the opposite. We're quiet because we are working on things.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mitch. And I think this year, hopefully everyone can see that we are delivering a lot of features. Since the beginning of the year, obviously waitlist, crafting, MCP. These are all the things that we've been wanting to get out for a while, and we are seeing a good cadence with these features come out. If only they were a lot more simple and were easier to deploy and get up and running 100%. But to Mitch's point, we are always working on stuff in the background, and hopefully that's apparent just through the fact that we are delivering on a pretty consistent basis throughout this year.
On a pretty consistent basis,
having a year of
very small
milestones.
Delivery.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So just quick housekeeping. Heads up that tonight they're going to be doing some of the referred to infrastructure upgrading. There will be an outage starting tonight, July 31st at 10 p.m. Pacific time. Systems will be down, and we do expect any processes and upgrades to be complete within a few hours, but just a heads up. So if you're doing some late night browsing, or you're waking up in the morning tomorrow and early tomorrow and see that the app is down, just be aware that that's what's happening. We're going through some upgrades. We'll put out some comms on Twitter about that as well. But there is no drop tomorrow, so we won't risk running up against that. In terms of drops for the rest of the week, we actually have some really good stuff, and I can't wait to share that with you. Obviously, Wednesday we have the next Disney comic, that is The Last of the Clan McDuck. We've just announced Fantastic Four #2, which is a big book, first appearance of the Skrulls.
That's
for those
big.
of you who have been watching Secret Invasion, you know how integral that piece of the story is to the future of the MCU. And how big that character and that that alien race has been to a lot of comic storylines for Marvel over the years. So that's a big one. And then let's see, what else can I tease here? Maybe another drop that includes a pencil, perhaps. And then we got some other good stuff. But just again,
what about the Spider-Man teaser?
Starting at 10 p.m. PT. We're down for a few hours, but we'll be back up as soon as those upgrades are complete. Anything else you guys would like to add for this month? And just quickly, I know I usually say my little spiel at the top about fairly regular basis and whatnot, but obviously wanted to pay some tribute there to Mr. Paul Rubens. But I know a lot of people have been disappointed that we're not doing the video format on YouTube. We will continue doing community updates, but I think we're just kind of revamping the format on what that means moving forward. That they are, with Dan and David, heads down, and Mitch heads down on a lot of different things happening with the app and doing some traveling, securing new partnerships, as you may have seen from Mr. Yu's Instagram. It becomes a little harder for me to herd those cats, if you will. So we'll revamp that format a little bit, and we'll still aim to keep everybody informed as often as possible with any updates to the ecosystem as a whole. But please don't take it personally that you don't get to see our tired and beautiful faces on a monthly basis.
Revamping AMAs.
Yeah, thank you for everybody for joining us today.
What about
and
Ecomi?
Thank you for Dan and Mitch for getting up early. I know I saw David in the crowd earlier. I know he had some conflicts with some meetings early on this morning, so couldn't come up to the stage. And shout out to everybody who has stuck with us and is patient as we continue to roll out all of these different pieces of what is going to be the best digital collectible experience in the world.
There you go. Patient hodler is not patient anymore.
That said, I've been Alex, and we will catch you on the next one. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Yo, where can I speak? Oh my god. Okay, guys. So let's do a quick AMA instead here with on this channel, right? So let me just grab my own chat here so I can see what you guys are all saying. But that was like I probably this was one of the most disappointing AMAs overall. I mean, I wrote that tweet, but probably it was too late. I should have get the pitchfork. Oh my god. Okay, so guys, first of all, 63 people here. I am tuning into this from Croatia. I just came back from the beach. Yeah, they are revamping everything, and they are working at a lot in the background, and they are doing I don't know what. So you heard it, a lot of politics, a lot of nothing burgers. But you are the patient hodl. Yeah, I know, but I cannot be senselessly, stupidly. I mean, I'm patiently hodling, right? So I increased my Ecomi instead of selling everything. So theoretically, I'm still a patient hodler. I'm still hodling. But I'm, as I said before many times, I'm not a silent hodler, so I'm going to address all of the points here right now that we have talked about. So yeah, 50 minutes of nothingness. I think what was remarkable is that they said they have brought cash out to 15,000 people. So let's talk about this, right? So they have brought cash out to 15,000 wallets. But I have seen already that they brought cash out to a couple of wallets that are actually inactive. So they brought cash out to people with like one collectible that have not logged into the app since I don't know when. So if you bring it to 1,000 people that actually have something to cash out and 14,000 inactive wallets of the 600,000 inactive wallets that are around there, that is pretty bonkers, right? So yeah, Omi dumping, ask me nothing. Oh my god, JML, your comments were great on the whole thing. Yeah, nothing new. When underwhelming, yes, absolutely, Superstar Money. Good to have you here, by the way. You need to change your name in Impatient Hodler. Yeah, probably. Probably I should rebrand, right? I mean, not even mid of an update. I'm not even angry anymore. That's usually the phase when you're in absolute despair, right? Yeah, probably Ecomi is probably dumping right now. I'm going to save that one for the next video. Stop buying Omi and letting them travel. Good news? No, not really good news. I think the only good news was like a drop announcement that. Not even that, right? I mean, I thought they would come out with a banger drop announcement after that Spider-Man thing here. Look, after this one here. I thought after this one here they would just drop a big announcement, like the 1962 Spider-Man figure or something like that, right? But yeah, no good. Yeah, cash out to 15,000 wallets, 14,999 with nothing to cash out. Yeah, for example, I didn't get anything, so that I don't sell anything, right? But I wouldn't anyways, so we'll see. Nice. AMA over. Yep, absolutely. It was over before it even started, so to be honest. And there's no... Usually I try to be a little bit moderate, but this was really like the worst garbage trash AMA that was completely unnecessary, and probably they did it by voice because everyone would have just seen how bad that was. If they would have written it in a thread, right? Because, I mean, what did they update? So they did update that cash out is in a rollout. They stopped at 15,000, where a lot of wallets didn't get it. Okay, understood. They are working stuff in the background. They have the waitlist is good. We like the waitlist, and I think the best point of the entire update was that the waitlist is going to get an automatic purchase, so that you can buy stuff when you're asleep, so that you are not. Or for example, what happened to me was that I went 16:30 in Germany, so that's 4:30 p.m. into the drop, signed up to the waitlist, had to go into a meeting, couldn't get the purchase because I could just come into the app when the buy button was already gone. That's just stupid, right? I mean, yeah, I want to have that. If I get assigned a collectible, I want to automatically buy that one if I have the gems already, right? So that should be possible at all. So let's see what else you guys are saying. That update was yeah, absolute garbage. You can talk with me. Okay. It's clear Vivi has abandoned the Omi coin. No update is better than patronizing us. They didn't mention Omi and exchange. No word. Like literally no word. And since we also didn't have visuals on them, there's also nothing to tease for Omi, right? Like I think this is the phase where we heard the least about Omi. And that's what I said. I mean, I said it many times on Around the Ecomi verse, on Jordan's channel, and so on. It's like, it's disappointing. And you have a blockchain team, you hired a blockchain team. What are they doing, right? And then look at this. So, I mean, I made a little bit of a joke out of this, but let's look at this. By the way, holiday style, so that you see this here. Actually, I can move my chat back here. I think, oh, that's something else. Move the chat back. There we go. I think that should be fine. Yeah, so here you go. But what I wanted to show you is this one here. So here, David Yu says, to this fake Elon account, he says, set them free. If eagles come back, it will be yours forever. I'm considering to rename one of my companies. So maybe, I don't know if he is talking about Ecomi. So I was just, when I said I'll just said maybe he's going to rename it into Vivi Inu. Yeah. So we don't know, but I think that was a little bit interesting. Yeah, the best point and the only point was the one with the automatic purchase. Looks like I'm holding to zero, bro. What we gonna do? Have we been taken for fools? Sure feels that way. Yeah, honestly, and I'll do, even though I talk with you guys right now live, I'll do a video on it because I'm really disappointed on that one. So yeah, probably in the next days there is something coming out. Yeah, are we going to zero? I don't know, man. I mean, that coin can also bounce back, and eventually they're going to bring something, right? That will get people excited. And then also in a bull run, new people don't care if the last 4 years were difficult for a project. Like if in a bull run you do some influencer marketing, people are just coming back, even if the functionality is just in the absolute basis, right? So yeah, that is one thing. Then Spider-Man living rent-free in all the Veve community had. Yep, true. Looks. What else? When Coinbase Binance listing needed to pump your bags. Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to have Coinbase or Binance listing. Literally every listing of a bigger exchange would do the deal. I mean, KuCoin, Huobi. Is Huobi still alive? I don't know. Probably. Yeah, whatever. I mean, even if it's in Europe, Bitpanda or something, it would work. Yeah, it was absolute crap, Caro. That's true. Absolute trash, as he says here in German. They're working in the background. Yeah, sure, they are working in the background since a long time. What will the Moon Boy say? The Moon Boys, I mean, man, I would like to be a Moon Boy, to be honest, right? I mean, it would be like, it would be the best for a YouTuber, a YouTube channel, if you could just go excitement pumping, like the big thumbnails, the big craze, but it's not the time for that, right? It's not. It's the time for criticism. It's the time for reflection. It's the time for reviewing your allocations and so on. So yeah, in my opinion. Oh, by the way, 75 people here. Smash up the like button to get the double in here. So yeah, Biscuits also here. Welcome to the stream. This update was normal here here on markets. Yeah. Hi, Kaleido Bob is also here. When the CEO pretends he was going on FTX after they were closed permanently is a strong signal to sell. Yeah, probably they were also enabling Terra Luna crypto pay-in, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Or the DocuSign story and so on. But I'm not here to hate exactly on it. I'm here to really do some criticism. So let's just quickly. I took some notes. I have to look at them. So yeah, they. So first of all, they are sounding like politicians, right? When politicians try to wiggle around a specific topic until the masses forget, that sounds like this. Like this, we work in the background. Be aware that we are talking with Waitlist about the technical piece and so on. So yeah, that is something. And then also, the absolute bullshit story is the one with the MCP points, right? So if I look at my MCP points and all the comics that I have, I get an absolute brain lag because how am I supposed to calculate my MCP points, my own MCP points? How am I supposed to do that, right? It's not even going to happen. So they are saying, yeah, you have to know your own MCP points and then you can file for a ticket to recalculate because you have to know that. No, I don't have to know that they are wrong. You, Vivi, have to bring out a feature that actually works. So you have to make sure that they calculate. Or what you can do is you just bring out MCP point, like you cut everything to zero and you say MCP points are starting right now. Would be way better. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed there. Feels like Omi was just used to supplement the starting capital and is now an afterthought. Yeah, it feels like that. To be honest, what MetaLemon says here is very true. So if you have a funding round for to raise cash for an app like that, that's fine. But you cannot then continue 2 years promising utility and a complete utility outline program for that, and then just not do anything anymore and let the person responsible for Ecomi in the last years disappear completely. I mean, where's Reese? And by the way, guys, I will say this here openly. I don't give a shit if that is coming out in a sense of, yeah, I'm so bad that I say this now on stream. But I asked Reese to come on my stream to talk Ecomi. And Reese said to me, "Hey, look, I'm gonna come to the stream when there's actually something to talk about, when there's actually news about Ecomi." But the problem is, this is months ago, and there is nothing to talk about with regards to Ecomi, and so obviously there's no reason to get him on the channel. But the point where you need answers in the community, if you are really planning on really doing something with the token, is right now. So why can't we get someone on a channel? Even though, yeah, I'm not the big, I don't have the biggest channel out here, but I have a channel, right? So with a couple of thousand subscribers. So yeah, I think that's what you should do. Like if you're seriously intending to bring value to the Ecomi token and to make it an integral piece of the app, why don't you just come to the content creators channel and answer some of the questions? You can even send, like, Reese could say, hey, look, send me the questions and I'd tell you every question that I don't want to answer. I wouldn't care, right? At least we would have something, but we don't. Stop fodding my bags, bro, says Block. Yo, Blockchain Andy, you cannot say that. I saw you. I saw you on that hitting the thumbs down in sequence. I saw the sequence of the Don't give me that. I will not allow it. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Um, who is Caro? Yeah, Caro is a German from a German VFM. I get no MCP points for holding an SA Spider-Man. That's pretty bad. You should get something, right? I mean, that's like staking, by the way. yeah, Omi token was a scam. Looks like, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit too early to call it a scam, as long as there is a chance that there's something happening, but it's definitely very, very slow. And you cannot really, I mean, you cannot really justify it anymore, the silence around the Ecomi token, with what is happening. Like after the XRP lawsuit partial decision, OMI on exchanges is fine for now, right? So it's not a security. Yeah, all in the future. My fault for trusting them with that task. Lesson learned. Yeah, true. So even if we would write that OMI back to zero, there's a valuable lesson to learn, right? To do our analysis and due diligence better. Yeah, guys, relax. We are early. Yeah, the problem is, for example, there was a token that got rug pulled today. Let me see if I have that here in the chat. Yeah, there we go. So these guys also were very early. Yeah, I'm not saying that Ecomi is a rug pull. Don't get me wrong, but you cannot justify everything with just being early, right? You have to ask the questions, and you can come to the conclusion that everything is fine. But what they did today is, I mean, it's a Veve community update, so you could argue that the token gets their own updates, but then there needs to be an update right only on the token. Yeah, and since they have linked OUP and MCP directly, apparently, which is not out yet, but the theory, they have to address OMI basically also in the Veve updates, because now it's really part of Veve, right? At least according to them. So yeah, here, look at this like straight straight Rapu line. Yeah, that one is also is also, they were early, right? I like your honest evaluation. Almost the only one who actually asked the right questions. Thank you, man. Thank you, Howard. Cash out with a lot of tags, yeah, and a lot of fees. Did you see Alex call me a charlatan for pretending to have a Weaververse beta? No, I didn't see that, but it's super funny. It's really, really fucking funny. I think Reese is gone personally. Yeah, I think Reeves was fired. Yeah, and if he was fired, then the big question is, why didn't they tell us so? I mean, they could say, look, what happened was not really good. We had to fire him. That would actually be a big piece of transparency, right? Because then you would get rid of these pump and dump accusations and put it on an individual. But yeah, yep, Andy is a charlatan. You just you should just screenshot the email you got. These comments are the only thing making me feel better. I guess all we can do is laugh. Yeah, I mean, there's good in everything bad right now, and I mean, it's not the end of the world, but we have to evaluate it seriously. Like we have to evaluate it where as we see it, and I'm just speaking my mind, right? But there's no sense in just painting it in how do you say this? Paint this all pink, and say, hey, this looks good. I mean, you could say right now, hey, they are just not talking about the OMI token because Gary Gensler is in the Twitter community update, right? Listening to every word because he will deem it a security. No, that's not the reason. That's absolutely not the reason. I agree, Black Panther. I think Ryan is doing Ecomi tweets. You can tell people's style. Was just trolling. Vivi doesn't need the OMI token. Yeah, that's true. We said that since a long time. Vivi technically doesn't need the OMI token, and people have asked. By the way, this is another thing. They don't let people ask questions, and then many people come out and say, "Oh, yeah, but other big companies also don't let people ask questions." True, but then you have to make it clear. Like you can say, look, we have grown to a status and to a size where we just don't want that anymore, right? You can tell that, but right now it just looks like they just don't want to have the questions that really need to be asked. Like, where's OMI to NFT? How is the blockchain team doing? What is the blockchain team focusing on? When will we see the first exchanges? Is there anything with regards to maybe waiting out and have this before the halving? Like, is there a tactical reason, right? So then also, why do users have to calculate their own MCP points? How will you ensure that MCP points are correct without having users? Why is Reese gone? Why is Reese not appearing anymore? Did Reese get fired? That is all very important if you want to have people buying the token. Then how is the process of the integration with the token overall? Are there any other? So there are thousands of questions that I could have asked right now, and I would have if I could. But I mean, you guys have seen it yourself, right? Hello FUD is here. I thought you and Biscuits left. No, we have the whole FUD armada here. The Omi update was fantastic, great value. Yeah, sure. Like, I mean, the sequence of 0 updates is almost as long as the zeros after the column on the Ecomi price, right? Is Ecomi already dumping? This is not the Ecomi chart, by the way. I shouldn't let that up, otherwise people get panic, right? So yeah, shouldn't have let that up. There we go. We're going to leave this one up here for the rest of the stream. It didn't take away anything from the update. Omi wasn't mentioned again. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Yeah, Biscuits is right. Crypto, your burp could have done this update. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the bird. So, Hello Case bird could have done the update. The Star Wars bird. Yeah, great update on the MCP miscalculation. It's like, yeah, please contact support. It's all good. All great questions you just mentioned. Yeah, thank you, genuine. When 0004? Yeah, energy is waiting to buy. I mean, what can we do? What can we do about it, right? So yeah. But that's the craze here that is going on. Let's see the notifications here. Is there anything happening? Has there anything happened to this tweet? So let's see what. So I was like, VV official. I posted this right in the end. I didn't know that it was about to end. I was just feeling that okay, fuck. They are sounding like this is the end, right? But then I tweeted this out and it was already too late. But probably they wouldn't have seen it anyways. So Sleeping Comics says, "I'll do you one better. Who is Reese?" Even Sleeping Comics is fudding. I mean, what the heck? Yeah, it's not fudding, basically. He's just entering the joke. Doodle Lovers is Reese still an employee of Ecomi? Ankesh Paitial, is Omi dead? And Gus is saying, anyone there? Oh my god, that Travolta meme actually hits it. Look, look at this. That one is the best one of all. Yeah, when Pokemon. Yeah, actually, we should ask that at VV Collectibles. When can I buy Holo Charizard with Omi? With dollar Omi. Oh my god, yeah, okay. Hello K says, my comment asking about an Omi update was by far the most liked comment on their own post. They definitely left it out on purpose, outside the soon mention about the token. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah. You don't really think they are going to, like, the blockchain team is going to ask. By the way, Kay, maybe you can ask that or answer that question. Do you know if there is anyone, like, do you know anyone from the blockchain team? Is there anyone that we can look at the LinkedIn profile or so? Do you know anyone? In every company, when things aren't working, the responsible is the CEO. His role is to manage and lead the team. That's absolutely true. 100% agree with you, Alchemist. 100%. The CEO is responsible, and then the C level, like the chiefs, they are responsible for the development in their own departments. I mean, you could argue that, for example, if there was a chief, if David wasn't the head of licensing, right? If let's say there was a chief of licensing, then you could say, okay, licensing is super great. This guy is doing a good job, and then you have a CTO, and the technical side is not doing so well. Then that is yeah. Then you know where the problem is, right? But at the moment, there is yeah, it's just there's no visible and no transparent structure or development. Um, in just no. I want to know where Reese is at. Yeah, we all do. I think this question has been asked many, many times. This update created more questions than it answered. Randy gonna be hiding in a corner, shivering behind the fridge or in the shower. Yeah, because there is a feeling Reese is gone and Vivi will dump Omi. Reese is gone, Omi done. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know, but just at least you don't have to go into Twitter jail here. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're not banning Jazz, that's for sure. Yeah, it's weird. Really does really does appear to be gone. Hello K says, I don't know anyone from the blockchain team and I don't see anyone for that role on LinkedIn. I knew one of the front end leads, one of the mobile devs, and product design dude personally. Okay, so I would be really interested in who that is, so we could know a little bit more about this blockchain team that they are apparently hired, because there's no evidence whatsoever that this really happened, right? Blowing up the comments here because I'm in Twitter jail. Yeah, let's go. Just the ultimate fodder. This is insane. How can you not address the token for so long? Do they want to this token to completely die off? I don't know, man. I have no idea what the strategy is at this point, but we are going to closely monitor this. So yeah, absolutely crazy. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I know 81 people are probably everyone who is in Twitter jail is now around here and blowing off steam. But I'll call it a day. It's 11 p.m. here in Croatia. So very cool. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. On your way out, please smash the like button if you do not want to miss any of these updates. Then also subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button. And yeah, guys, I see you. So just for everyone who is interested in the crypto morning coffees, by the way, I also want to quickly mention that I'm probably not going to be able to do them this week as I am on holidays, but next week, Monday, we're back in the game with the crypto morning coffees, and stay tuned for some videos, because obviously I will have to rework all of this stuff here that happened and put this a little bit into structure, what I'm thinking, in a video, and therefore I will look for a nice background here in Croatia to take you guys to another place here. So yeah, eat Burrick. Good night, bro. Yeah, good night, blockchain Andy. Glad to have you here. BRB calculating my VV points. Yeah, see you next Monday when you calculated your VV points. VV claimed they hired a tokenomic expert to manage the exchange listings back in January. I think the blockchain team might end up the same. Yeah, crazy. Randy Chavez is having a midlife crisis. Good night. Just a reminder, Randy Foster, Andre Isir made you buy Omi token. I don't know. Everyone is responsible for their own. But anyways, with this, I'm going to end the stream, guys. Have a good one. Have a good night. And yeah, see you all in the next video.